And thank you for your interest. We wish you all a very good start in the new year with lots of positive energy, good vibes, and really, really good news and inspiration. We have today dedicated our webinar on space data for energy. Energy is in all the regions high on the agenda. It is a topic really close to the citizen, concerns everyday life, but also it goes through all different sectors of life up to geopolitical situation. And we want to look and reflect today more about the question and see what are initiatives, what are funding opportunities, and what are best practices to learn more what can we do with space data in the energy domain to address challenges of the energy sector, to better understand how can satellite data help us better monitor energy resources, use for a better energy efficiency, but also to develop and see new ways to access innovative and new renewable energy sources. Let me first one general and organizational remark for the participants. You can find all our webinars on our website. And you can, following the webinar, we will, if the speakers allow us, publish their presentation. You can then download them. You can see also the material of other webinars that is accessible for you. We plan to continue with the webinar series of energy because we have the feedback from our members that it's of high interest for them. So if you have an idea, please let us know. We will be interested to develop and to build the next edition with you. The meeting will be recorded for organizational purposes. And you are too many. We have today 63 registered participants from very different organizations. We cannot all see you. Therefore, when you want to comment or if you have a question, and it is very important to us to have the exchange with you, please write everything in the chat. We monitor the chat constantly and we will react. Then please let me shortly say also 2 words about NEREUS. I'm Roya Ayazi for those ones who don't know me. I'm the Secretary General of the European network NEREUS. NEREUS stands for Network of European Regions using Space Technologies. We are a regional network. Regions, our understanding, is the level next to the national state. It's the NUS2 definition. Our partnership comprises 23 regions across Europe. Italian regions are the largest group on the platform, and we have 38 associate partners. The mission of the network is to spread the use and understanding of space-based services and products, better understanding what are space technologies about. And we work on 3 axes: political dialogue, interregional partnership, networking, cooperation, and new trends and PR. And today we are in the second column, interregional cooperations and partnerships, experimenting what can you do with space, learning from the knowledge sharing, information sharing, mobilizing ESA and EU funded projects is very important to us. That will help us to spread. Our role in NEREUS is to support our partners with bidding into funding opportunities, building and developing projects and initiatives. And that is also one of the purposes of our webinars, to learn more, to give the floor to funding opportunities, and to make you better know the other partners, so it is easier for you to build a project and to learn from the experiences of the others. With this, I will cut short. I invite you to have a look on our website, where you find all necessary information. And maybe one remark: for the moment, these webinars are open to everyone, to all participants who are interested. At one point, we might need to restrict them to our partners, so enjoy as long as you can. And with this, I like to give the floor to our first speaker. A very warm welcome to Asimina Sirion. Asimina works for the ESA Business Application Programs and will introduce us to space solutions for the energy sector and explain us some funding opportunities and project opportunities ESA offers to us. And please, Asimina, a very, very warm welcome. We are very curious for your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Roya, and thanks again to NEREUS, both Roya and Margareta, for hosting us, for inviting us, for all the preparation that you've done so far. So the pleasure is all mine. Let me share my presentation. Let me know if it's on full mode and if you see this, if this is okay for you.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So as Roya very correctly said, today I'm going to be giving you a quick overview about space solutions for the green energy transition. My name is Asimina Siriou, and I'm the energy lead of the Business Application Space Solutions Department. I will start with, I'm assuming, of course, that you are familiar with the European Space Agency already, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview. So the organization, the agency, is Europe's gateway to space. So the European Space Agency comprises of 23 member states, employs approximately 5,000 people, and reflects its extensive European collaboration and workforce. So the agency overall is dedicated to the exploration of and the space and the use of space for exclusively purposeful purposes, emphasizing its commitment to contributing to global scientific knowledge and cooperation, which is of vital importance. The headquarters are in Paris. We have 7 sites across Europe, and of course a spaceport in French Guiana, showcasing its strategic geospatial, geophysical presence to facilitate all the space missions that we work at. So the agency overall operates with a budget of approximately 6 billion, which translates to 12 euros per European per year, highlighting the cost efficiency of its operations relative to the collective contributions from its member states. Now, what do you picture when you see space? Usually people, when they think of space, they usually picture spacecrafts, satellites, astronauts and space stations, humans in spacesuits floating inside and outside of space stations. Some of them, they also think of, twinkling stars and swirling galaxies and kind of like some millions of light years away, forming breathtaking cosmetic patterns. Space might also be planets or the moon or kind of like an infinite expanse with distant stars and planets and galaxies scattered away. But at the same time, I have to say that space can also be this. So these images that I show you here highlight how space can aid in locating, visualizing, and connecting infrastructure like power lines, like solar farms, floating solar panels, maybe wind farms, or even individual wind turbines. So these specific examples emphasize the role of space-based data in enhancing energy management and sustainability. So what can we actually see from space? What do we see from space? These are a few examples when it comes to applications. This is how we call it internally downstream applications. So environmental and industrial monitoring capabilities enabled by space technology. So all these images illustrate how actually satellites can track, can analyze deforestation, vehicle detection, basin emissions, settlement growth, water pollution, and so on and so forth. These examples highlight the critical role of space-based data when it comes to addressing environmental challenges and enhancing industrial oversight. Now, specifically the role of the department that I'm working at, which is called Business Application and Space Solutions, I might be referring to it as BAS. So specifically in our department, we offer zero equity funding, tailored project management, and business and technical support when we run different types of activities, access to our network of partners, and of course the ESA brand, which is very helpful, especially when we work with very small companies or small medium enterprises. These resources are aimed at fostering the development and commercialization of space-related projects. Now, we work across a variety of markets and space technology. So we are in the beneficial position working in a very commercially focused department. So we work across all those different markets that are here listed. Of course, today's presentation is going to be focusing on energy. And at the same time, we are advocates of any type of space technology when it comes to satellite Earth observation, satellite communications, satellite navigation, or even space weather. So this slide specifically highlights the critical role of advancing clean energy through future technologies and digitalization. As part of our department, when we're focusing on energy, we see these, let's say, main areas of focus as clean energy transition. So countries nowadays are moving towards a clean energy solutions to transform the global energy landscape, let's say, with the aim to enhance energy security characterized by accessibility, availability, affordability, and acceptability. When it comes to future technologies, why do we mention this? So by 2030, for example, electricity generation is expected to heavily rely on renewable energy sources, with further innovations in low carbon technologies anticipated beyond this point. So driving a more sustainable future is quite important. When it comes to digitalization and satellites, the role of digitalization and satellites, they play a crucial role when it comes to transitioning by enhancing connectivity, energy security, supporting the broader, let's say, green energy movement. So together, all these elements illustrate a comprehensive approach, as we say, to fostering a resilient and environmentally friendly energy sector. This is a very busy slide, but this is just to show you how active we've been on the energy landscape from 2017 up until now. So these are all the funding opportunities. This is the thematic opportunities we have been launching and working on from 2017 up until now. As you see, we have covered loads of different topics, but today's focus towards the end of the presentation going to be the funding opportunities that I have within this circle, which are related to green hydrogen, integrated digital solutions for the energy sector, and space weather. I will explain more. So when it comes to our portfolio, this slide showcases the energy portfolio, so activities we have been running from 2018 roughly up until 2023, detailing the downstream activities categorized across various energy life cycle phases. So a combination of 34 million euros was invested, with 16 million contributed by the industry, demonstrating a strong public-private partnership. From all these, 47 activities have been successfully executed, emphasizing the comprehensive approach taken by our department in advancing the energy innovations. Also, we launched the so-called energy dossier, which is a document that highlights all the energy-related activities we have been running for the past years. And the aim is to work on this document on its updated version and update it every couple of years. This dossier was launched back in May 2024 and actually encapsulates these efforts, so showcasing our department's commitment to fostering innovation, competitiveness within the energy industry, and involving contributions from 15 different member states when it comes to running different types of activities. So here I have like two examples of use cases of two successful, let's say, activities we have been running as part of our program. One is called SIM, which stands for Satellite Integrated Management. This is a completed demonstration project that it has been running. It's been run by a Livio, a German-based company. So its objective is to develop a satellite-based solution for improving the management and monitoring for critical infrastructure, enhancing resilience and operation efficiency through the integration of space technologies such as Earth observation, GNSS. So the targeted customers for this specific activity were mainly utilities, infrastructure operators, and public sector organizations responsible for critical infrastructure management, together with energy companies looking to improve, in general, the resilience and efficiency of their operations through satellite-based solutions. So what was the success of this specific activity? The success was that the project demonstrated how satellite communication, could enhance the decision-making processes, enabling a more proactive, let's say, management when it comes to infrastructure monitoring, particularly in remote and challenging environments. So this kind of like approach helped optimize resource usage and improve the overall performance and reliability of critical sectors such as energy and utilities. The other example that I have is the one that is called Snow Power, which is an activity that has been running, it's been run, by EUMAP, another German-based company. This was a feasibility study, but since they have successfully completed this activity, now they are working on a follow-up demonstration project. The objective is to develop a satellite-based solution to monitor snow cover and meltwater runoff in real time, providing valuable data for hydropower operators. So targeted customers, as you can imagine, were hydropower operators, water resource managers, but even energy utilities. So the success of this activity was the fact that since they have completed their successful feasibility study, they have attracted key funding from Enel Group, which is it's a substantial, company based in Italy. So they've progressed in their digital, let's say, snow modeling solution, working currently in a demonstration project. So here I'm going to be talking about the Energy Task Force. So the Energy Task Force, we launched it a couple of years ago, back in October 2022. The task force has a very strong implementation focus, and it's actually focusing on integrating space technologies into the energy sector to support the green transition. Its objective is to identify industry needs, facilitate collaboration between energy stakeholders and space, and provide strategic direction for space-based solutions. Why we launched this? It's because, as I mentioned in one of my previous slides, we work across lots of different sectors. One of them is energy, and it's actually one of the most advanced sectors that we're currently working on, the one I'm coordinating. Because we cannot be experts in everything. We cannot be experts on energy. We cannot be experts on education, on agriculture, on maritime, on everything. We tend to work very closely with key energy experts in the field, through which we can, let's say, have a more clear understanding of how the sector is working, what are the trends, what are the challenges, and through these challenges, then they help us form the so-called funding opportunities, which we launch from time to time, and we invite industry to apply to our funding. So the focus, actually the members of those task force can be, you can see them on the slides. We have some outstanding members such as the Electric Power Research Institute, ENSO-E, EDSO, Aberdeen Renewable Energy Group, Net Zero Technology Center, and so on and so forth. We also have some latest members, which are the German Energy Agency, Friends of Sustainable Grids, and DEWA, the Dubai Electric and Water Authority. And as you see from the slide, we have loads of different topics that we're working on, which are part of our roadmap. And some of them include energy efficiency, grid optimization, sustainable infrastructure, electric mobility, and so on and so forth. So moving now to our funding opportunities. This new year, somewhere between February and March, to be exact, we're going to be launching 3 new funding opportunities related to energy. First of all, we will be launching the so-called call for proposals, which is an invitation for both feasibility studies and demonstration projects. And the topic is integrated digital solutions for the energy sector. The specific call will be focusing on the development of integrated digital solutions for the energy sector, aiming at enhancing operational efficiency, sustainability, resilience through space-enabled technologies. What is the objective? The objective is to support the development of those space-based solutions, capturing the growing demand for advanced digital and communication technologies when it comes to energy storage optimization, renewable energy integration, assets management, and predictive maintenance. So what is the role of the Energy Task Force that I just described to you before? This specific call is underpinned by the support of this task force, which they have guided a couple of members, the main areas of interest when it comes to preventing energy green congestions or demand and response and energy storage. So the plan is for successful bidders to have the opportunity to work closely with those task force members who are supporting this goal when it comes to supporting the development of proposed service, whether this is like user requirements or maybe joining as prospective users to the proposed service and so on and so forth. Call, we have interest and support by two task force members, which are the Electric Research Power Institute and the German Energy Agency. The call will be opening on the 13th of February. I also share with you the link to our website, and I encourage you to register to our webinar so that you can find more information about the specific call. Now, moving on to the green hydrogen for sustainable energy source. This is an open competition call as opposed to the previous one, which is a direct negotiation, meaning that whenever we have applications received, we evaluate them on a case-by-case basis. So the specific aim of this call is to support activities that develop innovative space-based solutions to enhance the production, distribution, and the use of green hydrogen as a sustainable energy source. The successful bidders, again, will have the opportunity to work, if they have an interest, with some targeted Energy Task Force members, including AREC, DINA, and EPRI. In this case, we have an additional stakeholder supporting this call, which is WWF Germany. So they have provided use cases where bidders can work with them closely if they're successful and they have an interest. Again, I have all the information here shared with you, so feel free to register to our upcoming webinar in March. The call will be opening on the 23rd of March, mid-March. And as I mentioned, this is going to be a feasibility studies funding opportunity. 80% co-funding, by the way. And for all of our calls, as I mentioned at the very beginning, it's zero equity. We do not ask for any IP in return. The last call I will be presenting to you is the one on space weather, commercial applications for space weather data. This is a 100% enabling study. The call will be launched in February. Again, we have a dedicated webinar, so I totally encourage you to register to that one as well. So just to give you a quick overview, space weather refers to natural space environment conditions that can actually impact sectors, not only energy, but also aviation, research exploration, satellite operations, and even GNSS-dependent services. So while strong space weather events are quite rare, their potential to disrupt infrastructure is quite significant. So this is why we're exploring this kind of like phenomenon. So this specific ITT, invitation to tender, focuses on enabling studies to explore services that protect critical infrastructure by using space weather data for monitoring, risk assessment, predictive modeling to address their specific needs. Again, it is supported by a few members of our task force. The reason why I have not added them specifically here is because we're currently in work in progress confirming use cases and engagement with them. But as I mentioned, I totally encourage you to register to our webinar, and you will be getting the opportunity to find out more about, how the call will be working around this. That was all on my end. I hope I was on time, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Many thanks, Asimina, for your very full and rich presentation, giving us a good overview on the opportunities. I like to open the floor for questions, like let's say for 10 minutes. If there are more questions, we can later come back, because the presentation from Asimina is very compact, lots of information, and different than the others. It's funding opportunities. So if any of the participants has questions to Asimina, please write it in the chat, and we can look on it. Asimina, it was so clear. I don't see any questions for the moment. For the moment. I think these webinars you are mentioned are very good opportunities to get more information, to get familiar with the programs and the procedures. And you gave also your email in the last slide. So if there is something coming up, we can also contact you afterwards, I guess.
Absolutely. And I'm more than happy. I mean, I will be sharing this presentation with you in a PDF, which you can upload in your on your website. That's not a problem at all.
Okay. Many thanks, Asimina. We appreciate, and we keep in touch. Thanks. I move on to the next speaker, Katrin Mandler from Evenflow. Katrin, you speak today on behalf of ECMWF and will introduce us to the Copernicus Energy Hub. The Copernicus Energy Hub is a new initiative, and it's a little bit a single entry point for products and information related to Copernicus to support the community to make more use of Copernicus data and services products for the energy sector. In the preparation, Katrin, I read you are a space economist. And that I find quite interesting. Maybe you can say only one sentence what a space economist is about, because we always have many young people with us, and Margarita has also a special webinar series on education and training. But I think many are interested, what is a space economist about?
Oh, absolutely. So I was an economist in my previous job, and my current job right now is a space economist. Frequently, I'm working with data and costs and investments that are generally restricted only to the space industry. So there's sort of a specialized focus there, because a lot is quite different from every other industry. If I could put it in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Perfect. And in this respect, you are the right person to speak about the Energy Hub, because the Energy Hub, if I understood correctly, it's a huge inventory of Earth observation data, information, services, products that help us to better use satellite data for energy. Please, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak again on the Copernicus Energy Hub. Hello, everyone. I am Katrin Mandler. I'm with Evenflow on behalf of ECMWF today, and I'm here to tell you more about the Copernicus Energy Hub, which is a new industry platform that's supporting the energy transition with EO space data. So there's a lot to say and not too much time, but basically I want to give you the big idea of the Copernicus Energy Hub. The Copernicus Energy Hub is basically a new type of platform, a one-stop shop where everything's in one place. I remember when I was at the NEREUS Symposium last year, I spoke to an energy data specialist who just kept telling me that he wanted to just check one place online and not the 35 or 45 different places he was going for the different data sets he needed, or the different approaches from use cases and inspirations and best practices and so on. And I really see the Copernicus Energy Hub as the answer to that problem, because at the Copernicus Energy Hub, we have use cases of all kinds for inspiration or different approaches to different problems. We also have best practices are being collected at the moment. We also have a library of data sets that's being updated on a regular basis. They're all Copernicus data sets related to energy. So, and they're from different domains, as I'll explain in the following slides. And when you add all of that together, it's not just a website, it's not just a data library, it's not just a networking place, it is a full industry platform designed to support and help the energy transition as it goes along. And stepping back now to take a bigger picture look at this, the Copernicus Energy Hub is really been ideally positioned to support the energy transition from a political and a business standpoint as well. So it's keeping in line our bigger policy goals as well as sort of the practicality we need to get there. All of the content on the Copernicus Energy Hub is free, by the way. And in that way, we're meeting the needs of everybody on this journey for the energy transition. And beyond the energy in general, the Energy Hub is a gateway to the world of Copernicus. For those of you unfamiliar with the Copernicus program or who have not encountered it recently, I would just like to give you a refresher of what the Copernicus program is. The Copernicus program is an EO branch of this EU space program. And the aim of it right now is to develop European information services based on satellite Earth observation data and in situ data. And you can see that there are 6 different divisions here, and the Copernicus Energy Hub relies mainly on 2, the Climate Change Service, which is also known as C3S, and then we have the Atmosphere Monitoring Service, which is also known as CAMS. And beyond Copernicus, the Copernicus Energy Hub is supported by ECMWF. ECMWF is a fabulous institution that is both a research institute and an operational service, and provides a lot of meteorological data that is actionable and super informative. It has 23 member states with 12 cooperating states, and it's very much strongly supporting all of the energy transition policy goals and business goals that we have here at this moment in time. So back to the website, how are we using this website? So we've designed it to be very user-friendly so that you can very quickly, within only a few clicks, get to the data set or use case that you need. So you can see here that we have the library and we have all the different sort of entries, you could say, use cases or data sets, and then you can enter sort of the different tags or the different domains or the data provider. You can search however is easiest for you. We've designed it to make it super intuitive for the user. And from there, you can quickly get whatever data you need with minimal or no hassle. And I want to share with you a few examples of the data sets we have, in case you are unfamiliar with some of our data sets, because the power of them is truly incredible. It's incredible what we can do with them. ERA 5 on the left is one of my favorites. I've worked a lot with ERA 5. It is a reanalysis meteorological data set. It is considered the best in the world, one of the best in the world at least. And it is very, very versatile. It goes back 80 years, I believe, and it definitely is useful for all different types of renewable energy. So this is one of the offerings we have here. And then also we have the CAMS Solar Radiation Time Series dataset. And this dataset is very popular in the solar energy community, especially for optimizing the intake of solar radiation to create solar energy from PV panels. And also it is used in our use case example on the next slide. So here you can see that just one use case. We have many more on the website. We have here Montois Solaire. It is a company that uses our CAMS Solar Radiation Time Series data that you just saw on the previous slide, and it uses it to optimize the placement of PVs in the usually urban or residential areas. And as many of you must know, that the urban areas and the residential areas are sort of the next frontier of solar energy. And the challenges are very different because we have shadows and other obstacles, trees, all these kinds of things that sort of get in the way of maximizing the optimization of photovoltaic panels. So this data set is used to optimize those panels, and there are many on their website. Montois Solaire has many happy clients that leave really nice reviews for the service, and we're excited to learn more and more about how CAMS is really, and all the different Copernicus energy data sets are supporting different applications all around Europe. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 6 different domains. On the Energy Hub, we already have almost all of these are represented, all of these different domains that we have here. However, more and more are being integrated by the day. And you can see sort of the versatility and flexibility that comes with the Copernicus Energy Hub and the Copernicus universe itself. So as we're growing, there will be much more, the versatility will be preserved along with that. And I really encourage you to check out the Copernicus Energy Hub if you have not already. We are adding to the website all the time. We're always updating it. So feel free to submit any requests that you have or any feedback or any use cases if you have your own experiences with the Copernicus energy datasets. And I'd like to thank you all for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Thank you, Catherine. You presented very illustrative this new initiative. It's an institutional initiative, but strongly supported and the input by the stakeholders. I have a question. If you have, like, the majority of our partners are public sector players. If you are a public administration and you like to look into, you are an energy department, you have never heard about satellite data before, do you have a general introduction in the hub context? Where should they go on the website?
Oh, absolutely. So beyond the sort of general search function I was showing you, we do have the trainings page. So on the trainings page, there are different trainings for sort of different levels and different specializations as well. So for somebody who's completely new to the domain in the area, we have a few trainings there that should be illuminating.
Excellent. Can you put in the chat the link to this training site? That would be very interesting, I think, for our partners.
Oh, of course, definitely.
Yeah, you don't have to do it immediately. You can do it during the webinar, but that might be of interest. I open the floor for questions to Catherine. Are there any questions for the Copernicus Energy Hub you'd like to ask? Maybe also an information to Catherine. Please write in the chat, then you are too many. We have 63 registered participants and I see connected are 30. I can't see you all. If you have a question, please write in the chat or give me via the chat a sign you like to take the floor. Asimina, did you want to say something?
Actually, yes, but I'm typing my question.
Please.
That was a great, yes,
please.
Will do.
No, you can also take the floor now. You are a speaker, please.
So no, the presentation was great, Catherine. It was very informative and a very good glimpse of what you do. I have to admit I was not aware of it, which is a shame, but I'm glad that you gave us this overview today. So I just wanted to ask, with what other entities do you collaborate as part of the Energy Hub? Especially when it comes, do you work with any energy related stakeholders or any other entities in the space sector? How does it work exactly?
Yes, so our collaboration mostly goes through ECMWF, and I don't believe I can tell the whole list for there are different agreements for different people, but there is a lot of advising going on with ARENA, and you must know them, yeah. And we have a few academics as well, so it's different universities, Wageningen, and I think ARENA is probably our top ticket advisor at the moment. Yes, but I can give you a full list maybe later.
That would be it would be good to have an offline discussion, actually. That's what I'm saying.
Of course.
That would be great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Asimina. Any more questions to Catherine? Maybe also our partners and also Catherine, we have with ECMW a partnership agreement. We exchange as a user organization. And we will also exchange with them on the Health Hub, which is also of quite interest for our partners. And maybe also for you to know, ECMW has one of its sites in our partner region, Emilia-Romagna in Bologna. And we try to make also their links and also show it as a feature of the regions. That is quite a data hub.
Oh, wow, thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
There are also these linkages. Okay, thank you. If there are no more questions, I will move on to the next speaker. As I said, we are a network of regions. The regional perspective is for us key. And in all the topics we are discussing, for us, the perspective, the insights, the situation at the local and regional level is vital. The more, I'm very, very glad to welcome Angelo Donvito from the regional cluster in Basilicata region. Warm welcome, Angelo. You will give us a presentation on what is the perspective from the regional level, what's the regional perspective, what are the needs in region, and we are also eager to hear what is a regional cluster on the energy sector doing. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Roya. Thank you, NEREUS, for giving me the opportunity to speak about our small region, the Basilicata region, and to represent our cluster of energy. Okay, I try to share my presentation. Okay, it's my presentation visible?
Yes, you see it.
Okay, I am Angelo Donvito. I am president of DigiMat. DigiMat is a SME. We are a software engineering company. We work in different areas. The main area in which we work is the space sector. We worked with Telespazio, IGEOS from Italian Space Agency in the program Cosmos Chemed in the past, and now in the program Cosmos Second Generation. The participation to this program allowed us to have a big competence in the space sector, in particular in the processing of satellite data. This allowed us to develop some application monitoring platform that, using satellite data, can apply applications such as climate and environment monitoring, but also precision farming application and integration satellite data with AI algorithm. We have also built application for monitoring infrastructures. We are now supplier of the archaeological park of Colosseum, of the platform for monitoring, but also cataloging cultural heritage goods. And we support the archaeological park in maintenance activities. The second sector in which we are working is the energy sector. Collaborating with ENEA, we have developed a monitoring platform that is monitoring the energy consumption and all inside environmental parameters such as temperature, humidity, and so on. This application allowed us using intelligence, artificial intelligence algorithm, but also IoT sensor to correlate energy consumption and climate, environmental parameters, and so the comfort in the indoor environment. So we correlate these parameters in order to improve the energy, reduce energy consumption, and improve the comfort, so the quality of the life in the living ambient. Coming to the topic of this presentation, I have to present the context of our region. Basilicata is a small region with very few medium medium cities. The other cities are small towns with less of 1,000 inhabitants. They are very small cities, and they have the problems that are affected of the crescita of the town. In this moment, the PNRR, the Italian Restart and Resilient program after the COVID, is fostering the creation of the renewable energy communities. Our Italian government is fostering the creation of energy communities, in particular for the small cities that haven't enough fund to create without fund the energy communities. The advantages of energy communities is for both citizen, but also for communal administration, municipal administration. In fact, all the energy produced in the communities and energy consumed by the community members is refunded from the GSE. GSE is the gestor end of the electric network. This is a big advantages for the citizen, a small town, but there are some constraints. The first constraint is to consume the energy produced internally by the community when it is produced, without the needs to use the network, the electric network. The other constraint is the consume at least 14% of the energy produced internally from the communities. For the administration can be a very important contribution, because we have estimated that the fund for the municipal administration can be also can reach also 100,000 euros. This could allow the municipalities to supply new services and try to reduce the decline of these small cities. And now we in DigiMat are trying to support the small cities to create their energy communities. We are supporting both the creation, but also to search fund to create the solar plant, but also we put at the disposal of energy communities, also our platform that use both monitoring data from using satellite data, but also using on-site sensor that monitor constantly in real time all energy consumption. This allows us, using also AI algorithm, to supply information and suggestion on the availability of energy, but also the needs of energy by citizens and administration. So we can supply information on when consume energy and so optimize the efficiency of the energy communities. We hope that using our services, the energy communities can consume over the 84% of produced energy, and so we can give to the municipalities some funds to foster services and reduce the decline of these cities. This is all from the presentation, and thanks to all for the time you have dedicated to my presentation.
Thank you, Angelo, for this perspective from the regional level. Do you happen to have any figures on how far is solar energy in Basilicata, let's say, also how many people or how many houses have access to solar energy? Do you have any figures?
I haven't the exact data, but at private level, there are many companies that are using solar plants. Basilicata Regions has founded many companies to build own plant for solar energy. At municipality level, the experience is not the same. Very not many municipalities has already adopted solar plants for became autonomous from energy point of view. So our action is to support municipality to create the energy company. So each municipality can have their own land for solar energy.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions to Angelo? No? Warm greetings to Basilicata, and we keep in touch, Angelo. I move on now to our best practice from a regional. No, in between, before I want to move on, I like to give the floor to Margarita Krisaki, our project and communication officer. When we do these webinars, it's also important for us to give a voice, to give more transparency to our members, to players from the regional level, to show what they are doing, and to show who they are, what are their capabilities. And on the platform, it's very important to us to stimulate the cooperation and exchange amongst regional stakeholders. And one important, let's say, element on this is the working group on Copernicus, Earth observation and Copernicus. And Margarita coordinates it together with the chair from the Veneto region. And Margarita, I think energy is also for your work very important, isn't it?
Thank you, Roya. Hello to everyone. Yes, indeed, energy, it's a very interesting topic. When it has to do with the use of space, the purpose of this working group is for the members to share experiences, practical examples, best practices, tools and methodologies. It's a group of experts, of space experts in regions. And we organize our meetings every month. We touch upon a topic each time. And with energy, it's something, of course, that it's quite interesting for our members. And we had in the past discussions around this. And us also now we prepare our a scientific article about how to use Earth observation tools in the framework of UN SDGs. And I believe so that some of these practices refer to energy as well.
Thank you. Maybe you can also put a link in the chat where you can find information on the working group.
Yes.
Could be interesting for some participants that belong to our network and haven't been in touch yet to the working group.
Exactly. It is addressed to our members, this group. These are internal meetings and are not shared in public like these webinars.
Okay, thank you. Then I move on to our last speaker, Marie Catelin. Marie is an offshore wind expert and brings us a best practice from Occitania, the French region around Toulouse. And it will be on Saar wind. Marie, when you drive across Europe, windmills have offshore windmills have become a characteristic mark of all landscape. If you are in the north of Europe, if you travel around the Mediterranean or around France, Scandinavia, it doesn't matter where you are. I think children nowadays, when they paint a painting, they probably about landscapes, there will not be only trees and lakes, but also windmills. Maybe what would be really interesting, you could say one sentence how you became an offshore wind expert, and then we are very curious about your best practice. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Yura, for giving me the opportunity to present our activities. So I'm Marie Catelin. I became an offshore wind expert, because first time I saw a wind turbine, I was like, wow. And then I learned that we were able to put them at sea, and I was like, wow. And then I decided that I wanted to study the physical phenomena inside wind farms. And especially I specialized into the the turbulence, the wake effects of wind turbines, because yeah, when you together, then you have like a wind speed deficit, and so you need to do some optimizations to place them, to arrange them into a part to get the highest annual energy production. So yeah, that's why I did my my study on that. And so now I'm at CLS. So let me share my screen, and I'm using and I'm using satellite observations for yeah, I'm using satellite observations. So this project is called SARWind. So I'm the technical leader of SARWind, and it's a product for offshore wind resource assessment, which is derived from satellite imagery. So I worked at CLS. So CLS is a subsidiary of the French Space Agency, which was created in the 80s to develop and commercialize a monitoring solution based on satellite transmission, which is called Argos. And so now our activities cover a large range of sectors, especially the environment and the energy sectors. And so in this domain, we have 12 years of expertise with the European Space Agency, because we coordinate the Mission Performance Center, which operates, validates, and delivers the Sentinel-1 satellite ocean products. So my work takes place in this context of deployment of offshore wind energy in order to meet the EU 2030 climate and energy targets. And so, as you can notice, this deployment is massive, especially in the North Sea. You can see all the green and the blue zones are the offshore wind farms, ongoing offshore wind farms, and the pink and gray areas are the planned development zones that are planned to deploy offshore wind farms. And so the idea is to have a maritime spatial planning to balance sectoral activities, because yeah, we have military activities, we have also fishery, and a lot of actors are present in those areas. And so at CLS, our idea is to provide an accurate site characterization with a dedicated offshore wind resource assessment, especially in coastal areas. We are interested in the mean wind speed and the fluctuations, but also the wind directions and the local atmospheric effects with some spatial heterogeneities. And we want to do that because the offshore wind farms, so it's turbines and farms clustering with wind speed deficit, because the turbines are, the idea is to get the kinetic energy from the wind, and so downstream the wind turbine, there is a wind speed deficit. So it's called the wakes. So it has an impact on the annual energy production. So you can see here the ONSREV photo case, where you can see the wakes propagating across the wind farms. And in these wakes, you also have an increase in turbulence intensity, which has an impact on turbine lifetime. So the idea is to have an accurate site characterization for the offshore wind developers to be able to build a sustainable mean of energy production. Because yeah, when we talk about wind assessment, so it's quite so the French national energy company mentioned that 1% exceeding probability of wind speed can contribute to significant errors on the production, and it leads to millions of dollars in gain or losses for operators. So it's quite huge impact to be able to to accurately model the wind conditions on site. So usually people deploy LiDARs at sea. So it offers a high precision with a high frequency, but it's one single point, and usually they deploy during 1 or 2 years because it's like 1 million euros a year to deploy this kind of instrument. And so, yeah, so it's quite short in time. And on the other hand, you have atmospheric models such as ERA5, as you mentioned, Catherine. So these models have a good spatial and temporal coverage, but they have a strong dependency on the numerical parameterization. They have a tendency into flattening the extremes of the wind distribution, and also because of their spatial resolution, they have difficulties in representing correctly what is happening near the coast. And so the last observation we can use is the Sentinel-1. So in Europe, we have this satellite. So it's a radar that is spaceborne. And so we have a direct observation at 10-meter resolution of the sea surface roughness over a huge area. And so we are able to retrieve the corresponding wind field that created this sea surface roughness. And so you can see the difference between the atmospheric flow that I think it's the ERA5 model here, and what we got from the Sentinel-1 acquisition at that time around Corsica. So, yeah, as I mentioned, we use the Copernicus Sentinel-1 synthetic aperture radar from the European Space Agency, and because it offers a high resolution observations with a lot of spatial heterogeneities. You can see the difference between, so here it's in the North Sea, so it's the Netherlands. You can see the difference so between the process satellite observation and the atmospheric model. So with the satellite observation, we have a very detailed flow, which is strongly heterogeneous. We are able to capture the coastal effects. So this is the mean wind speed, the instantaneous wind speed we get. You can see across the along the shore that the wind speed is decreasing. And what is really interesting is that everywhere near the coast, we have strong coastal effects. For instance, here in the US West Coast, we have orography effects. Also in the Italy peninsula, we are able to detect the land-sea transition, the air-sea interactions, and as I showed at the beginning, we are also able to detect the wakes of existing wind farms. So at CLS, we have an advanced processing to process the Sentinel-1 imagery, which is based on a combination of so imagery, machine learning, and also surface wave buoys to have a good quality of the surface wind field. So you can see, for instance, what we are able to do compared to a standard processing in the North Sea. We are able to remove all the bright targets you can see in the wind field, which are the wind turbines, also some ships, some artifacts that are not related to the wind. And then, because we are addressing wind field in altitude, because the wind turbines are like 2,000 meters above the mean sea level, the idea is to develop a vertical extrapolation up to 300 meters. So we developed this extrapolation algorithm in order to address these altitudes that are more relevant for the offshore wind industry. And so what is really interesting with this kind of observation is that it's a direct observation of the of governing phenomena that are impacting offshore wind projects. And thanks to this remote sensing, we have a worldwide availability because of the coverage of the satellites. So this technology has been validated across Europe, US, Asia Pacific. We validated it against offshore LiDARs, and we published this validation in 2 peer-reviewed scientific journals. So yeah, we processed it's a massive processing of satellite images because we use the images since 2015, and so it's an example here in the North Sea of the mean wind speed in altitude reprocessed, and so you can see that the wind speed is decreasing when we approach the coastline. And so yeah, to conclude, this kind of this product, which is derived from satellite observation, is really a dedicated tool for all stages of offshore projects to be able to do maritime spatial planification, but also at later stages of offshore projects, in able to have a really good characterization of the wind resource across the site. And yeah, I did not mention that, but it allows to significantly reduce the cost of offshore assessment. So compared to a high resolution atmospheric model, we have a 4% error reduction. So when you link that to the sentence from the EDF about the 1% of uncertainties, which leads to a million or in gain or losses for offshore wind project. It's a really interesting tool to use in this kind of industry. So yeah, I put my contact. So if you want more information, I will be delighted to give you validation cases.
Marie, thank you very much for this very illustrative and tangible example. I think it has relevance for all Europe, for all European region in our network. And I'm very, very glad that we could identify that. Special thanks go to Marie Bourgeois from the Occitanie Europe Brussels office that helped us to connect you with us. And I think there are probably a lot of stakeholders in our partner regions in Italy or Germany that work on similar topics like you. It could be really interesting also to better connect you. I see now a question by Asimina. Could you please list a few customers you have targeted that could benefit from your service, including their feedback so far?
Yes, so we worked with the French government, the DGEC, for the AO5 and 4. So it was the wind farms in South Brittany, but also in the Channel. So we provided them at the beginning of when they want to do the site assessment study. So they deployed 2 LiDARs in each area, and so we provided them with our SAR wind atlas at the surface, but also at different altitudes. And so we did a post-validation when we got the LiDAR 2 years after, and so we published this validation. And so yeah, this package of data was provided to all the bidders. So EDF, I don't remember, but yeah, they noticed that the spatial heterogeneities was better compared to AROM or other models they have. What can I say? Yeah, we had also a study in China where we compared to met mass measurements in the north of China. And so yeah, and we have also a project, a research project with the US over the West Coast. They want to do bats monitoring, and so they want to derive correlation between some physical, I don't know, the difference into air sea temperature and the wind field to see to see, okay, the corridor of the bats will be like that, and so we don't want to put wind farms in this region, and so they wanted an advanced resolution of the wind field. So yeah, we're working with them on this topic. So it's a huge area. So it's the whole West Coast. But yeah.
Thank you, Marie. We have another question by Adrian, who asks, are the processed CLS data available online? And can the methodology be applied to inland wind speed estimations at different heights?
Okay. So yeah, this specific processing is not available online because we have we do so the baseline is available because we, as the coordinator of the MPC Sentinel-1 MPC, we provide all the data online through the Copernicus data space. But here we have an processing because it's dedicated to offshore wind applications. We remove all the artifacts that are not related to the wind, because yeah, as you, I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning you can see that there are a lot of disturbances into the backscatter signal. So we remove all that. And so this is a product that is not available. We sell this kind of product. But yeah, and it's only offshore because it's the way we work with the Sentinel-1 SAR. We need a water surface to be able to detect the small wavelength at the sea surface. And so, yeah, inland it's not possible to. It's not working. You will not use this kind of remote sensing to do resource assessment onshore. Yeah, we
Thank
need
you.
sea, ocean. Yeah,
we need sea. Yeah. Maybe I give the floor to Asimina because she has some comment. Asimina, if you like to respond yourself, then I don't have to read it.
No worries. No, that was thank you for the presentation, Marie. All I was saying is, like, you mentioned you have been working on studies, which is good. I mean, I know, by the way, from experience, we have been working closely with you. I mean, you have been running a couple of activities as part of our program as well. So I would welcome you to explore, how you could probably scale up the current studies you have been working on. Reflecting internally when it comes to, the funding opportunities that I just presented before.
Yeah.
Food for thought for the team and yourself.
Yeah, I know, but that's why it's a first step for us to, because it's the Starwind product is a commercial product, but it's the result of like 10 years of research we did at CLS, and so it's the beginning of a new application of this kind of product, and so that's why it's the first time we address energy sectors like that, and I would be welcome to take some advices of fundings and collaboration with other people. Yeah.
Well, that's great. And just to clarify something, if I may, very quickly, when I was presenting before, as the funding opportunities that we launch, they are both for feasibilities and demonstration projects. In case, I mean, for those who are not familiar, this involves a different kind of like target market when it comes to maturity in terms of a business case. So when a company is working on an idea, on a service proposal, they have a rough idea, they know what they want to develop, they have a preliminary system service architecture, and the market is there, but they're exploring the feasibility of what they're proposing. This is when we're referring to feasibility studies, as opposed to demonstration projects, which are activities that they run for a longer duration. They have already identified some targeted customers. They're quite technical and mature when it comes to business cases. So this is why we, so we kind of, all I want to say is like we invite companies that they want to work both on feasibilities and demonstrations. So we have a flexibility when it comes to maturity of business cases. This is where I stop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Marie, there we have another question.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Calabri, who works for the Innovation Agency in Emilia-Romagna, one of our partner region, writes you, thanks for the interesting presentation. Which is the efficiency of the wind energy on average? I mean, when you say that for Europe we need plus 33 G wind energy per year, what does this exactly mean in terms of energy produced in comparison with other sources of energy, for instance, non-sustainable but working 100% of their possible performance?
So the plus 33 gigawatts, it's the not wind energy, it's in total. If EU to meet the EU targets, we will need plus 33 gigawatts of renewable energies in total. So that means offshore wind, but also onshore winds and other sources of renewable energy. About the efficiency of wind energy, so it depends really. Offshore energy is more efficient compared to onshore energy because offshore you have higher wind speeds. You are able to have really larger wind farms, and but it really depends on the area. I don't have the exact numbers in mind, but I think you can read the Wind Europe report. They do an annual report where they have all these figures presented and the evolution, and so it's quite interesting.
Do you have, maybe you could also copy us in the chat, this report you just mentioned might be interesting for the partners that have not yet received it. Thank you so much, Marie-Catlin, for this
You're welcome.
very, very interesting experience and success story from Occitania. From the feedback you could already see it was met with great interest. We are now coming to the end of this edition. What I can tell you is we will continue with the energy topic. There will be new editions for space and energy. If you have an experience, an initiative you would like to share with us, please contact the Secretariat. We are now developing the next one. For the moment, we have scheduled a next webinar on space and health, which will be on the 4th of February. We warmly invite you to join. And we have also, and that is maybe also for some of you interesting, NEREUS is a platform to make space users more transparent, to show what others are doing, to make you engage with other users, and to know better what is the situation at local and regional level. In this respect, we have a cooperation with the European Commission and the European Space Agency, Copernicus for Regions. We published in this partnership also a publication, the 99 uses of Copernicus at the local and regional level. And we have currently a call open to further develop and to have a new edition. And I copy you the call in to the chat. Maybe some of you like to share an experience, how you use Earth observation Copernicus data in the context of energy challenges. Please share your experience, your story with us. This is really storytelling from its best. The deadline is the 31st of January. If that puts you under pressure, maybe we can see, but have a look at this call. With this, I like to close and look forward to welcome you on one of our next initiatives. Stay tuned and have a nice day. Thank you very much.